first guest tonight has a jawline that could slice a boulder clean in half. You know him as Sherlock, The Witcher, and Superman 2. His latest is Guy Ritchie's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. It opens in theaters a week from Friday. Please welcome Henry Cavill. See you.
Good to see you too. How are you?
You said a very nice thing. You know, in America, we'll go like, "How you doing?" Whatever. We don't really mean. And you said it sounded sincere. Are you well?
Are you well?
Not mentally, but yeah, I'm well. I'm fine. Are you well?
I am.
Everything's good?
Everything's really good, actually.
You know, I have to say, we're a little bit concerned that you would not make it today because I know Superman is powered by the sun.
Right.
And, well, with the eclipse and all, we thought maybe you might have low energy, but you seem to be fit.
Small window.
Are you a nerd? Are you really a nerd? Because I was looking on your...
anymore, guys.
I was looking on your Instagram, and you certainly, I know you shouldn't say somebody looks like a nerd or doesn't look like a nerd. You don't look like a nerd. You look like the opposite of a nerd.
Right.
You look like the quarterback or even, you know, the offensive lineman or something like that. You're a big, handsome, muscular guy, and yet you have hobbies, the hobbies of a nerd. Would you...
I do, yes.
You do. This is something that you, I'm told, are very involved with, and this is, you're painting... What is this thing you're painting?
That is it's a helmet.
Okay.
A very small helmet, obviously.
Tiny little helmet, and this is the full figure.
And that is a body attached
to the helmet. You painted this.
I did.
And then you play with it?
You paint many of them, and then you play with them with other people.
How many of them?
Depends.
How many did you paint?
Well.
Like more than one?
It's within the confines of the hobby, we call it our grey pile of shame.
Your grey pile of shame?
Yeah, because they start off grey, and I have a very large grey pile of shame.
Are they metal or are they plastic?
They are plastic. They used to be metal, but now they're all plastic.
Used to be. This is something, it's called Warhammer, right?
Warhammer, yes.
It's been around for a long time?
It's been around since the 80s.
Since the 80s, and you picked up on it when and how?
I probably picked up on it late 80s and then really got into it early 90s, went to boarding school, was already unpopular.
And you guys didn't have video games. You guys didn't have a Sega Genesis, I guess, is what happened, huh?
Well, weirdly enough, my brothers and I all had PCs when we were growing up. And we stole our mother's dining room table, which she's still unhappy about. And we just put all our PCs on there and connected them by a cable and play games that way.
To play games?
Yeah, yeah.
But this is really old-fashioned. This is like a game with no computer engineering whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. You actually have to hang out with real people.
You have to hang out with people.
Yeah.
And then is it like Dungeons & Dragons where you roll dice?
Yes, in the sense that you do roll dice, yeah, but not like Dungeons & Dragons, because Dungeons & Dragons, I think, is more about an adventure you take like one little model on, right? With your other friends who have one little model. And this is more about armies. So you build armies of these guys, and then you play against someone else in a war scenario.
And is it like marbles, where you will you get to keep the marbles, you get to keep the figures if you kill them, or
No. That would be.
So there's no penalty whatsoever for losing.
It's not about the losing.
It's about the winning.
It's about taking part, Jim.
I see. It's about the journey along the way.
It's about winning or losing. It's about being there.
It's about being there and inhaling a lot of paint fumes with your friends.
Yes.
Yeah. And this relaxes you, I assume? This is like something that brings you down to like zero?
Ooh. Look, I love it, but I get very frustrated with it at times.
Why?
Because you want to be good at it, right? And
what do you mean good at it?
Painting, for example.
Oh, okay.
And you can mess up painting for many, many years before you get one thing right. And then you have to do an army of them. And then you have to compare them next to someone else's who's really good.
Right. But then couldn't you just like grab a mirror and look in it and go like, yeah, I'm fine. Like,
right.
Yeah. You, where did you grow up?
Jersey, the island of Jersey.
Oh, okay, not our island of
No,
Jersey.
no, no, yeah. Surprise.
Like Jersey?
Yeah, it took me a
What
while to
town
get rid
in
of the accent.
Jersey? Oh, yeah, I think
Up until the solar eclipse.
I saw
had a
you at
Jersey
Springsteen last night, I think.
Yeah, Old Jersey, the original Jersey.
The original, oh, yeah, the old, oh, yeah, I guess that's named after, yeah, okay.
Go figure. Same goes for New England.
Yeah, and in Jersey, is it like, did they invent like uniforms and stuff there? Like, is that a thing, Jersey?
I actually think there may be something to that.
Oh, interesting.
But we're otherwise famous for cows.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Jersey cows.
Jersey cows.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Did you have any cows growing up?
I did not.
Oh.
There were lots of cows around. Beautiful cows, by the way. And if anyone plans on getting into farming, very high cream yield for a small cow.
Oh, speaking of cows, this is up my alley now. You've got this, I know Guy Ritchie, the director who you worked on this project with, you worked on multiple projects with, he has this thing, what does he call this again?
That's a wild kitchen.
A wild kitchen, which is like a kitchen setup. It's like kind of a tent with barbecue implements.
Yeah, yeah. It's like sort of, you see those two tables there. There is two cooking elements on either side of the table. And you use charcoal or you can use wood. And you can use this in any weather, which is the key bit. Like in winter, you just tuck your legs underneath that skirt around the outside. And you stay warm.
And does the dog come with it, or just wander in there to smelling the meat?
He was just wandering in and smelling the meat.
And do you dress like this when you barbecue?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, that time, certainly.
Because it's very formal. I mean, you're not wearing an apron or anything like that.
No.
And what do you make? What kinds of things?
Someone okay?
But we got off to a weird start with the audience in the commercial break. There's something going on, and we're trying to help somebody, and he just doesn't. It's like he just. I think maybe. Sorry. Anyway, what are you cooking in this thing?
Yeah. So, for example, this thing is, it's going to sound like I'm selling it now, but this thing is so magnificent. We did an entire Christmas dinner on that for 13 people.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it
what'd you make?
these big oven. Okay, so
A goose? Is that what you guys have?
No, turkey and a prime rib. But we had the prime rib sitting over the turkey, so the dripping from the prime rib basted the turkey naturally throughout the process.
Yeah. All right, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Amongst all the other stuff, like roast potatoes, cauliflower cheese, stuffing, and Yorkshire puds.
Oh, all right. That's nice. I like that. Who knew you were? Oh, my God. What a man you are. We're going to, I mean, geez, this wasn't enough. And now you're dripping prime rib on your turkey. Forget about it. Henry Cavill is here. Is the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. We'll be right back.
They're bringing their guns to bear.
They'll find their range soon, sir.
Ready? Should we be worried? Oh, I don't think so, sir. It's a rather large explosive, so I set a rather large fuse.
I located the outside of the powder room, so when he goes bang, it really should go bang.
So, sir?
Should be any second now, chaps.
Ready?
Good work, Frederick.
That is Henry Cavill in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. It opens at theaters a week from Friday. That's funny. That's Alan Ritchson in there with you.
Sure is.
Who's
Don't
a
miss it.
big fellow.
He's a very large fella.
Yeah. You probably don't meet that many guys of your size.
You'd be surprised, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And he's bigger than I am, considerably so.
He's big. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, he's bigger than you. The movie is based on, which I find completely shocking, loosely, of course, but based on real events and real people.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. This mission was carried out by the Special Operations Executive, which essentially gave birth to deniable operations with these very small groups. And these guys, they changed the course of the war. They changed the course of the war because they took down this Nazi U-boat operation, U-boat spring submarines,
Yeah,
essentially.
sure, yeah.
Which would stop any kind of Allied support coming across the Atlantic. And they shut it all down. Of course, a shot wasn't fired in real life, but in Guy Ritchie's life,
thousands
there's
of
a few
Nazis get mowed down. Yeah. It's more fun Guy Ritchie's way. Your character, and this is pretty crazy too, was said to be the inspiration for James Bond.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Ian Fleming was part of this special operations executive. And
Wrote James Bond, of course.
Who wrote James Bond. And apparently based James Bond upon Gus March Phillips, the guy who I played. I reckon it was probably a little bit more than that. It was probably other characters as well. But it's my understanding, controversially, my character, Gus March Phillips, in real life, wrote a novel with a spy character and based upon his various adventures. But he died during World War II, and so he never got to continue writing his books. Had he survived, maybe he would have beaten Ian Fleming to the punch.
Oh, interesting. Wow, that's
Maybe.
interesting. So you're saying Ian may have stolen this idea from Gus?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. And did Gus have the handlebar mustache?
No, he did not.
He did
He
not.
had a considerably smaller mustache.
He did. But you wanted the handlebar.
I did.
Yeah. And Guy wanted the handlebar. Did he weigh in on the handlebar?
Guy liked it. Yeah.
How do you grow a handlebar mustache?
You got to train it.
What does that mean?
You got to. That was too loud a laugh right there. You've got to. Okay, so with the twirly bit, if you just waxed it and did that, it wouldn't stay up. It would eventually just throughout the day go back to
really?
a regular moustache, but long. And if you twirl it every day, then it'll naturally kind of sit in that direction, have a little curl up, and then you just tweak it with some wax.
I did not know that.
Now you know.
Oh, that's something else. Hey, you ever see these things? Well, speaking of things we don't know, these things where they ask celebrities the most asked questions on Google?
Yes.
This is, these are the least searched questions for Henry Cavill. Would you be willing to answer a couple of them?
Slightly more terrifying.
Has Henry Cavill ever made guacamole?
No, Natalie does that.
Okay. What's Henry Cavill's ideal hot tub temperature? In Fahrenheit, please. We can't convert.
Yikes. I wouldn't even know what. Does 95 sound right?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Has Henry Cavill ever shoplifted, and if so, what did he get?
Yes, I think I was 6 and it was chewing gum, and I felt so guilty I gave it back.
Before you chewed it or after?
Before.
What does Henry Cavill order at Cheesecake Factory?
Cheesecake?
You ever been there?
I mean, yeah, but it's been a while.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Do cats respond well to Henry Cavill's energy?
Some do, some don't.
Could Henry Cavill beat Bigfoot in a fight?
Yes.
Yes. Two more. Would Henry Cavill ever try riding a unicycle, or does he not believe in himself?
I would.
And finally, will Henry Cavill look into the camera and just tell this guy everything's going to be okay? Will you?
It's okay working for your mum.
Henry Cavill, everybody, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. He won't be working for her much longer. Opens in theaters a week from Friday. We'll be back with Mike Epps.